So I'm Ann Morgan, and I'll be hosting tonight along with the rest of our board. And a big thank you to all the people that have come tonight. Thank you for being here. We want to welcome all of the members and new members and everybody that's joining us virtually and all the nonprofit representatives. So thank you for being here. And we have an incredible group of people that work behind the scenes to make these events happen quarterly. And it happens all year round. And I want to just shout out to all of those people that work so hard. And thank you to the people that volunteered tonight. You can see our full team on our website. I do a lot of plugs for our website, so there's a lot of information out there, and please check it out. Shout out to our sponsors. I don't know if Yenny's here, but Yenny Bexel Spot has been with us from day one. And thanks to her, we don't have to charge dues, which is a great thing. And so thank you to Yenny and Spot. And also shout out to the Door County Community Foundation. They facilitate our payment processing, which is a really big deal because it helps us administratively, but it also helps the nonprofits because when we first started, they had to process, literally hundreds of checks and send thank you notes and text acknowledgement letters to all of those individual people. Now they receive 2 or 3 checks. And so that's been a good thing. And we also can do credit card payments now. Shout out to Bonnie Spielman, who is here today somewhere. Hi, Bonnie, wherever you may be. There she is. Thank you, Bonnie. Bonnie's helped us with our apparel and is working on a new platform, so we'll have more offerings, more colors and selections. So stay tuned for more on that. Our agenda tonight will be listening to the nonprofit presentations and vote. We'll have our business update and hear from Donna Hansen from Unity Hospice, a prior award recipient. And we'll do our drawing and then announce awards. Our goal is to connect like-minded women to make a meaningful impact to our community. And that's supported by our core values, which can be remembered by community first, which I think is very appropriate. And I encourage you to, once again, to go to our website and learn more about these core values. They've been really instrumental to us as we've been growing over the last 5 years. Our members who are presenting tonight, they are being brave. They're coming forward to talk to you and tell you about a nonprofit that they're excited and passionate about. So please, let's listen attentively, give them big rounds of applause. And with that, I'm going to welcome Beth Zolkowski for Little Eddie Big Cup Mental Health Awareness Fund. Thank you.
Hi, as Ann said, my name is Beth Zolkowski. I had nominated the Little Eddie Big Cup Mental Health Awareness Fund. I met them several years ago. I've lived in Door County about 9 years. When I was a part of the mental health focus group, they offered a lot of support for us for a lot of the events we did. I am a licensed professional counselor in the community, so I really appreciate what they're doing, and that is why I'm passionate about them. Through their mental health awareness fund, they help support the Stride mental health program in the schools, which was the first nonprofit you guys gave money to. I was very excited about that because I served as one of the counselors for Gibraltar School, and that program is very near and dear to my heart. Through that program, 55 Door County youth were able to get counseling through the schools last year. The year before that, 65. So this is a really important program for our youth in the community with mental health conditions. They also support the Friends of Gibraltar. This helps school secondary guidance department and community organizations address the mental health needs, including art, nature, and animal therapy. They've also helped sponsor the Right on Door County's Health and Healing Conference, which had 75 attendants. Another program that this fund has helped support is Challenge Day in the schools, and 400 students have attended Challenge Day. I got to be a part of this when I was at Gibraltar through the Stride program, and it was a really, really neat experience. This program provides powerfully positive experience in social emotional learning for community leaders, school staff, and high school students. Gibraltar, Sevastopol, and Sturgeon Bay high schools have had Challenge Day. They also support Jack's Place. This is a nonprofit drop-in social and resource center in Sturgeon Bay for people who are affected by mental illness, their families and friends and allies in the community. At work, I send people to Jack's all the time. So this is another really important resource in our community. They also partner with the mental health focus group, like I said earlier. They partner with the Door County Partnership for Children and Families in their youth mental health first aid training. They've also been a part of Gibraltar's high school Decide to Rise speaker event, helping youth begin the stigma-free conversation about mental health and suicide prevention in schools. So this awareness fund is funded by the Little Eddie Big Cup, which is an annual golf scramble the Sunday before Columbus Day weekend at Peninsula State Park Golf Course. This year, it got rained out, so your donations will be greatly appreciated. They do not have any paid staff. This is a group of 5 friends who went to school at Gibraltar, and they lost one of their dear classmates and friends to suicide. So I give them so much credit for pulling together and making such a big difference for mental health in our community. Some of their plans for these funds is to continue funding Gibraltar's Challenge Day. They also are going to help fund forest therapy activities and preventative nature, teach all students in grades K through 12. This happens during the school day and it's a break from their everyday studies. They also utilize the Door County Community Foundation to help them minimize administrative costs. That is what I have for them. So if they have some questions, I could answer.
Thank you very much, Beth. And next up, we've actually got both 2 board members, Lauren Aurelius and Rachel Willems, to handle the Q&A. Welcome. Okay, who's got the first question? Susie. Hold on, Barbara's coming.
Hi, ladies. Welcome.
Hi.
So I'm just wondering, since you weren't able to have the event this year, what kind of money do you actually raise at that event each year? I'm sure it's different every year, but I guess what was your loss this year in those funds?
Last year, I think the event raised $46,000. Yes, and we do have a generous private donor. It's called the Warner and Sue Krause Woodhaven Foundation. And they definitely brought our proceeds up higher than they've ever been last year. I think they went from around 20,000 to 46,000 last year. And they will be supporting us with a $10,000 donation, even though we did have that rain out this year. So we're appreciative of that. Does that answer your question? Okay.
So Challenge Day is an event, an all-day event that most students attend, high school students. It takes place in the gym. They get together with groups of people that typically they wouldn't hang out with or are their friends. There are some community members as well as teachers, and there's a variety of different activities. Some of them are like physical activities and then more, talking, social, emotional things, just learning about each other, sharing experiences. It's a way to, realize that you have more in common probably than you think with people that you normally, or you might just see in the hallway, but don't know a lot about.
And I think kind of on its face, a program like Challenge Day, it's like a lot of kids come into it thinking, oh, it's just another like be nice to your classmates thing. That's super cheesy. But well, you know what I mean?
And you get out of class or,
yeah, like cool, a day we don't have to have any class, but we looked at some of the feedback from the Challenge Day participants from previous events, and what they were saying was absolutely incredible. This was not just, another be nice to your classmates event. They really were deeply affected by it. And just reading that feedback, I think that's actually open for anyone to read. So if you guys would like to read some of that, we do have it.
Yeah, it's a national program, and it just took place earlier this fall, and the founders actually came to Gibraltar this year, which is pretty cool. So
And I think too, now we're part of the mental health support fund, but this all started with the Little Eddie Big Cup, and Little Eddie was our class of 2000 best friend at Gibraltar, and losing him the way we did was absolutely shell shocking and devastating and completely unbelievable. So supporting things like this means so much to us. I always say, like, how could
Question in the back, sorry. I don't get the questions in too.
Hi,
oh,
hi, Beth.
can you talk a little bit more about suicide awareness and the programs you sponsor and the conversations that take place in school because of things you bring, programs you bring to bear for this much needed topic?
Kind of going on what I was saying before, a lot of times I'll think to myself, maybe Eddie's story would be different if we lived in a world where Stride existed for him and he could have, walked into a counselor's office and had no barriers of time or distance or money or insurance or anything like that. So I think when we started this 10 years ago, I feel like the world has kind of caught up a little bit and more people are talking about it, just, vulnerability and emotions. And one thing we supported most recently was, I think it was called like Cozy Corners at Gibraltar, or Calm Down Corners, where kids, if they just need a minute to just relax and take a breath, there's a corner they can go to and just feel safe and be quiet. And it's not all just about, therapy and stuff. It's little things like taking a walk in the woods or, taking a little time out in the corner of your classroom that mean a lot. So I think we're all kind of learning that mental health is so much more than, just suicide or, it's an everyday kind of thing. And I think the kids are realizing that it's an everyday thing. It's just normal if your friend needs to go to the counselor's office and, talk to a Stride counselor. So we're hoping that the world looks a little different for them than it did for Eddie and us. Sorry.
No, it's perfect. Right on time. So big round of applause for Rachel and Lauren. Okay, next up is Lakeshore Cap Food Pantry, and here to present is Lisa Van Lannen. Welcome, Lisa. Oh, no. Wait, sorry.
There we go. Hello, everyone, and thanks for giving me the opportunity to talk about the food pantry. The food pantry is part of the Lakeshore Community Action Program, which was actually founded in Washington Island in 1966. As its mission, the pantry works to alleviate hunger and improve the health and well-being of the Door County community through access to healthy and nutritious food for those in need. Some actual examples of the food pantry's impact in Door County residents could be the elderly woman, the elderly widow who has no mortgage and is living on her husband's Social Security of $800 a month, or a family of 6 with dad working and mom disabled and staying home with children, or a single working mother faced with high rent and childcare cost. In a nutshell, the food pantry serves the neediest of our friends and neighbors in Door County. Eligibility to partake in the pantry is based on annual income. For example, a single person with an income of $27,000 or less, or a family of 4 with an income of $55,500 would be eligible. Eligible families are welcome to visit the pantry once a month on any Tuesday or Thursday between 11 a.m. and 4 p.m., plus in an emergency situation or after hours when needed. All this is at no cost to the clients. This is a client choice pantry, which allows people to select the items they want. This option enables the families to select specific foods to accommodate their special dietary needs, or simply to select foods according to what they like or don't like. The amount of food a household receives is dependent on the size of each family. Each household leaves with a 10 to 12 day supply of food, dependent on their selections. Personal care items such as toilet paper, toothpaste, sanitary napkins, cleaning products, or pet food is also available. The food pantry is located in a non-assuming building at 131 South 3rd Avenue in Sturgeon Bay. That location facilitates a front office space plus shopping space somewhat similar to a traditional grocery store, with shelving with an array of canned goods and dry goods, areas for bakery and fresh produce, refrigeration units for dairy products, which, by the way, was all taken out by the time when I visited it. It's a popular section. And freezer units for frozen meals, vegetables, fish, poultry, meats, and that sort, etc. Last year, the food pantry provided food to 3,507 Door County residents. Of those residents, 886 were children and 774 were senior citizens. What's more, 155 households who participated who had not participated the year before. All this happens with 2 part-time staff and 18 volunteers with who combined worked the equivalent of 70 40-hour work weeks last year. The pantry has an annual budget of $74,000. Most of that comes from the emergency food programs, grants, and contribution. That amount covers salaries for 2 part-time staff members, administrative costs, building and maintenance costs, the food truck expenses, and some grocery expenses. And the food supplies come from multiple sources. One from the U.S. Department of Agriculture via the Wisconsin Emergency Assistance Program. Also 2 from a contract with Feeding America, which allows the pantry staff to pick up food 3 times a day at Pick and Save, and also at Quick Trip, it's hard to say, Quick Trip, Target, and Walmart, and from private donations through food drives like the Postal Food Service drive on church sponsorships and individual drop-offs. And also venison donations come in for the Hunt for the Hungry initiative. All donations in Door County stay in Door County. I'd like to note that although participation in the pantry increased by exactly 50.77% last year, the emergency food program deliveries are down by 27%. Regardless of the numbers, the pantry always provides as an extra a birthday cake for each child who has a birthday that month. That way, they'll forever carry a memory of this happy birthday tradition. Not only does the food pantry give a helping hand food-wise, it also makes referrals to other Lakeshore CAP programs in Door County and to other available resources. If you know anyone who might benefit from this service, please let them know. So, thank you.
Thank you very much, Lisa. So here on behalf of the food pantry is Food Pantry Director Sandy Soy. Welcome, Sandy.
Thank you. As you can see by my age, I don't have my notes on my phone. I'm on paper.
Okay, so who's got a question for Sandy? Wants to start us off?
Hi there.
Hi.
So if I work from 11 to 2 or whatever your hours are, I'm sick, I just can't make it in. Am I out of luck then, or how does that work?
Oh, by no means. You could send a friend or neighbor to pick up your food. You could, if you were sick, we could have it delivered. The Sturgeon Bay Fire Department will deliver emergency food for us. So you could get your entire pantry. They've even delivered as far as Forestville. They're very good. The assistant fire chief does that for us. So there's never a time that you couldn't get food. If someone from Bay Ship is working and they get caught, they can't get to our facility by 4 o'clock. They just call us, we wait. Our doors don't slam closed at 4 o'clock. If someone needs food, they need food. If someone needs food over the weekend or when we're closed, we have a note on our door. We keep food at the fire department. They just need to go over there and they can pick up a full pantry.
So Lisa did a good job. 3,500 people used your pantry last
Yes,
year.
Yes.
How many more could fit your criteria? Do you have any idea? I mean, the need. What's the need?
Well, we are hoping we're fulfilling the need, but we've already served 3,400 this year so far with the increase that we've had since COVID, since the funding has dropped. With the food share, rental assistance, extended unemployment. So we expect our numbers to continue to increase.
So of the food you distribute, what percentage of the food is coming from the groceries or restaurants?
From restaurants, we don't receive any. I can tell you, about 55% of our food comes from Quick Trip, Pick and Save, Target and Walmart. I do have to say Pick and Save and Quick Trip really have saved our butts. We get lots of food from them. We pick up from them 3 days a week. And that's via a contract with Feeding America. So we have to report to them on a daily basis what we pick up from each site. Then we also get inspected by Feeding America, our warehouse and our food pantry. We get inspected because we're a USDA pantry, we get inspected by the state. We have to keep statistics on who we serve, nothing other than, we don't keep any names or anything like that, but we have to they need to know if we're serving children, seniors, adults.
Hello. I'd like to know about some of the volunteers that work at your pantries. There seems to be a big difference in 2 part-time and how many volunteers?
We have 18 volunteers.
18 volunteers. What kinds of things do they do there to help things go?
It's unbelievable what they do. We have volunteers that come in at 7 in the morning and stock shelves and pick up food. We have volunteers that come in at 8 and continue to stock shelves. We have volunteers that come in at 9 and work until 4. The important part about our volunteers is they know our families by first name. When they come in, they say, "Oh, hi, Sue, how you doing?" They help them go around the pantry and help them select the items that they need out of the freezers and off the shelves. They know them so well that they'll tell them, "Oh, gee, I'm having a hard time paying my rent this month." So we can help them find assistance for that problem. But one of the biggest things I see is we have 2 men that are volunteers. We have a retired naval architect. We have a retired marine engineer. We have retired business owners. We have retired nurse practitioner. We have retired nurses, teachers, administrators. But we have young men that come out of prison and out of jail, and they have nothing. They're in transitional housing. So they come in, they have to get a job, and they have to get housing. If not, they could be revoked. So they are down and out. They don't have a penny. And these guys will take them around, help them pick out their food, and they'll talk to them. And I've seen them, when they're done, pat them on the back, look them in the eye, and shake their hand and say, "Good luck. I know you can find that job. Stop in and let me know what you find out when you have that interview." They know that we care about them. So.
Okay,
Yeah.
with that, our 5 minutes is up. Thank you so much. It goes fast. Okay, so next up is actually Deanna Nelson, and she had a last minute conflict. So I'm going to read her speech on her behalf. And she nominated Sunshine Resources. So these are her words, me speaking for her. While I was employed at the Peninsula Pulse News, I became aware of many great nonprofit organizations through all of the press releases that I saw come through on a daily basis. One really stood out for me due to my background and working with special needs individuals, and that organization was Sunshine Resources. I went to their website, did some research, and even asked around in the community, what is this place all about? And why do I always see these minibuses driving around with Sunshine Resources on the side? I attended some of their fundraisers and award dinners. I had the opportunity to meet so many of the people that have grown through the assistance of Sunshine Resources that it literally brought tears to my eyes. I reached out to both Michael Leonard and to Jeremy to see if they would be willing to give me a tour of the facility so that I could learn more. I was amazed during my visit and to find that this organization has been a big part of Door County since 1971, started by a handful of parents that wanted more for their children and to succeed in society. 40+ years later, they have grown and now provide daily classes such as arts and crafts, cooking, gardening, computer skills, budgeting expenses, and more. These are all basic skills and tasks that you and I take for granted, but life-changing for people to be able to live more independently. Sunshine Resources provides employment training for manufacturing and hospitality roles, job coaching and placement, so that everyone can share in that feeling of freedom and a purpose in life. There is also a production area and small print shop in the back where they offer printing services to local businesses. Keep in mind, this is all done internally through volunteers and training, so that again, these individuals learn a trade and build up their confidence. The Sunflower Cottage is another division of this great organization that provides senior respite services. This allows seniors a place to socialize and to continue to live their life to the fullest. From making lunch to having coffee and reviewing current events, the day is full of activity and the occasional nap. This service also provides much needed respite for the caregivers. The staff receive specialized training to work with seniors living with dementia-related illnesses to ensure a safe and comfortable place for them to enjoy. Transportation services are a big plus for this organization, or as I referred to them earlier, the minibuses. Sunshine Resources picks up and brings home every client, from Ellison Bay to Algoma, providing over 18,000 rides a year. They also provide transportation services for other organizations working with disabled individuals and seniors, all through volunteers and donations. The funding from 100+ Women can provide advanced training for these bright individuals in the workforce, teaching responsibility and a trade for personal income. This all involves transportation, so a good portion could be applied to that, as well as the summer programs that they offer. With the support of other businesses, Sunshine Resource clients have been able to enjoy opportunities such as brewer and packer games, mini golf, concerts in the park, kayaking adventures, and so on. This has only been a part of my experience in getting to know all of the people involved here at Sunshine Resources, but there's only so much to fit in a 5-minute speech. I would highly recommend that you sign up for one of their award dinners or attend an event and have the opportunity, like I did, to meet so many of these special individuals. Please note, there is always room for growth, but they can't do it without your support and donations. Your funding will also help them create new fundraising opportunities in order for them to succeed in reaching their goals. Thanks for listening, Deanna Nelson. Okay, so switching back to Anne, here to field questions for Sunshine Resources is the Director of Development, Jeremy Pazchek. Welcome, Jeremy.
Oops.
I'm just curious to know how many clients you serve at the present time.
Sure. Right now we serve 90 clients. That's between our day service programming, our employment services program, our Sunflower Cottage, and we also provide job coaching for Department of Vocational Rehabilitation. So those are individuals that don't actually come to our facility. They already have community employment, but they just need assistance in, doing their job a little bit better to become independent. Wow, you're making it easy on me.
Oh, no, I'm not. If you were to receive the award tonight, how would that money be used?
Yeah.
Or I know you will, but how will you use?
Yeah, in several different ways, as Deanna's speech kind of related to, our budget is just over $1.5 million a year to cover all the services that we provide. And there's many revenue streams that provide that. Our partnerships with our manufacturing plants that we do work on her production floor that generates revenue. But 30% of our revenue is donations and grants. As you can, this year, our goal was $300,000 to raise. Right now we're at 220 with 2 months left. So that $300,000 means that we break even at the end of the year. So that'll be spread amongst many different areas.
Well, first of all, I'd like to say you should have brought Kenny because he would have gotten everybody's votes. If nobody's ever met Kenny, you'd love him. I'm just curious, do you still send clients out to businesses and churches for cleaning and things like that?
We used to have an enclave, and the enclave was a job experience where we did just that. So we go to local businesses and churches to clean. Unfortunately, through COVID, that program fell off. And really, our program is built on client choice. So when we evaluate programs and services, if our clients aren't interested in doing it, then we don't see a need for it. That happened to be one where we had maybe 3-4 clients who were interested, and it just didn't, there was no value in that program to continue. As our clientele changes, that may change in the future. But right now we're looking at a potential landscaping enclave where we go out and cut grasses and rake leaves and trim bushes and things like that. Because there's a lot of interest in that with our clients.
Do your clients actually get paid for what they do?
Absolutely.
Okay.
Yeah, right now we work on a 14C licensure with the state. One of my focuses is to do away with the 14C and move to a standard minimum wage for our clients, dependent upon their, thank you. Yeah, so it's easier said than done. If we were to change rates right now, it's a significant increase in our budget line. So we're evaluating how we can make that happen. I'm hoping in 2024, we can do away with 14C and move to a straight payroll hourly wage. Therefore, our clients would be staff rather than clients as far as employment's concerned. Mm-hmm. Hurry up. That's it. Awesome. Thank you.
Okay, so you've heard everyone. So now the time is here to vote. Don't forget online to please vote online now. And remember, 1 vote per team. So we'll take just a couple minute pause here, let everybody vote, and then we'll come back to resume the business meeting. Yeah.
Okay, we're going to get started with our business update. I think we have most of the ballots in. Okay, so first of all, we want to start off with a show of hands. Who was at our July event, our soggy night? Yeah. Yeah, thank you. Thank you so much. You were all amazing and during that event. We apologize for the weather. We tried to head that off, but we just couldn't do it. Whoops. Anyway, based on that, in July of next year and going forward, we're going to have our July meeting right here at Kress. But part of the reason we enjoy doing it outside is to have a picnic. Well, there's a beautiful deck here, the patio outside, so people can come early and have a picnic here. So we want to thank everybody at the Peggy Performing Arts Center for their help. Terry Lundahl and helped us get those meetings going, and Dorothy Scott helped us with the audio. So very thankful for them. And at the meeting, we had the big check written out to our donations since inception. It was $461,000. And I want to share with you something that Brett Bycoy, I think he said it to Ann Glesner. I'm just going to read the quote. 100+WWC have done a masterful job introducing an incredibly broad spectrum of nonprofits to people who might not otherwise know much, if anything, about them. Previous recipients shared with me how they have picked up new volunteers and new donors because of their affiliation with the 100+WWC. Whatever the amount on that giant check, your impact is several times greater. 100+WWC truly are connecting people who care with causes that matter. Well done, everybody. That is amazing. So after tonight, our donations to date will be over $490,000 for 56 nonprofit organizations. So that is awesome. And we talk, our mission is philanthropic and looking at ways to increase our philanthropy. And there's some listed here. Referrals are always a big one and really important to us. An idea came up just recently. I think it's been floated once or twice in the past, but we're going to give it a try. And that would be if somebody wanted to be a sponsor. So sometimes we'll have a team that loses a team member and is looking for another team member to replace them, or maybe you know somebody, even maybe like a young person, like a high school person, that you want to introduce them to philanthropy. If you would like to sponsor them, the way that would work is, for example, if their quarterly budget would be $50, you would increase your commitment to $50. So if you're an individual, it'd be $150 a quarter. They would pay $50 a quarter and they would get the vote, so you're giving them the experience of participating. So if that would be anything that anybody's interested in, reach out to us and let us know, and we'll just, see how it all goes. And there's a couple of donations I wanted to mention that happened this summer. The social event on the cruise. Yeah, there was a couple that was watching, I think, all the excitement of the 100+ women on the cruise, and were very excited. And they were interested and they donated $100. So that was very nice of them. Well done, social team. And we had $1,000 donation from a gentleman that I was trying to figure out, was there a connection to one of our members? And it wasn't. He just had been coming up here for years with his family and wanted to do something to support the nonprofits in our community and donated $1,000 to us. So that was fun. I mean, just really exciting. And then there was another one. There was a memorial, and that ended up being about $1,450. So we had like $2,500 that we're going to allocate between tonight and then throughout next year. So like whatever that turns out to be. I'm not going to try to do the math right now. And so wanted to share that with you with good news. So we have Oh, Beth did a great job. She got our most recent member on here. That's awesome. So we have over 380 members. And if you're here if anybody's a new member, would you please stand so we can applaud you and welcome you? All right. That is awesome. You know, and I noticed on the RSVP that there were some people that they weren't new members, but this was their first live meeting. Is there anybody here that fits that category? Oh, there you go. All right. Thank you for coming. There's a couple people. Oh, my favorite slide. This is my button slide. So this is our website, 3 buttons: join us, nominate a nonprofit, and donate. So please share this with friends and family. And with that, I'm going to turn it over to Paula. Thank you.
Hi, I'm Paula Latta, and I am part of a small but high-quality team of 100+ members who care about marketing and communication. And we could always use more. So if you have any feedback of what we could do better or different, or if you want to help and supplement our current efforts, we'd appreciate it. We do things like the website and try to keep that up to date. We've been adding some new things, and Lana's our photographer, but also the website person, and she's adding some quotes from both you and our nonprofit. So go out beyond the buttons and look at the website. There's a lot of good stuff out there. What I really wanted to talk about today is how to connect with 100 women and how to connect with 100+ members. And so there's a couple of different ways to do that. The website is public. One of our purposes is to spread public awareness, to create more members, which increases our impact on Door County. So public things are really important. The website is public. However, there's a small part of the website that's private, just for you. And what that is it's a directory. If you want to find somebody who lives in your village to get a ride to a meeting, if you want to find somebody who likes orchids and wants to learn how to grow more, if you just want to support a local business who also is a 100+ woman, you can go to the directory. Now, this is not a full membership. This is people who say, yes, I would like my name, phone number, email, hobbies, business on the website. And you agree not to use the directory for any solicitation. It is a private, secure through Google security, and we only add you if you ask to be added. And you agree to our small but important terms. So know that the website is out there. It's updated by the organization. Okay. The next part, and wait, it didn't go. The next way to connect is through the organization's public Facebook and Instagram account. And Lisa O'Hearn does most of this work. And so that's also by the organization. What would you learn out there? Well, you would learn about upcoming meetings. You learn about nonprofits, general organizational kinds of information. It's public, so we want to spread awareness to the public about all of the good stuff that nonprofits do. So how do you find it? You go to your account, your Instagram. If you don't like Facebook, it's okay. Oh my goodness, my time is up. Yikes. I was trying to be good and I'm not, because I'm got to end on time. Follow us. If you don't like Facebook, go to Instagram. It's a lot more friendly. If you're a Facebook member, follow our public page. This is public information. The last piece is private. Okay, so this is by members for members. And so if you are on Facebook and you want to become part of the 100+ Facebook private group, you request to be a part of the group. Got to be a member in good standing, just like for the directory. And what would you find on this page? Well, you'll find things from members that members think you also might be interested in. So our social team posts things on Facebook about upcoming events. Kate Sullivan posts information about volunteering for nonprofits. So this is member to member kind of communication. And so you can post if you're a part of the group. So as a member, I'm part of the group. I care about Habitat for Humanity. I posted a post about their open house last week. So that's the kind of thing that you would see out there. And so with that, speaking of social posts, let me introduce the social team.
Hi, everyone. I'm Susie Cotter.
Faye Germain.
We're your co-chairs, and along with our social team, very good team of ladies. We're down a few tonight because of a flu bug, but we have a great team that helps us. So on behalf of everybody, we want to thank everybody who made it out to our Sunset Cruise in September. Anne talked a little bit about that, and we just had a great time. It was really fun. It started out looking kind of doubtful, the weather, but the sunset came through like it often does up here for everybody. And we were really had a lot of fun with the people that weren't from 100. There were couples out there, and they wanted to know what all the buzz was about. So we did tell them, and that one lovely couple, and her name was Rose, came up and gave one of the gals, Cheryl Wiedekrist, actually, handed $100 bill. So she goes, "You need to go and talk to them." So we did. And as the people were getting off the boat and we were going to take a group picture, so we stood behind, at least 3 women said, "I wish I lived here. And if I did, I'd be on your 100+ women group." So it's good, right? So the next big event tonight, thank you. The next big event for our social group, 2 weeks from tonight at 4:30, we are going to gather at the Cupola House Cafe for a wine pairing with some autumnal dishes, savory and sweet. They're going to be lovely with Ryan and Jilly there at the Cupola House Cafe. So it's a limited number of people. It's going to be a lot of fun. 4:30 is a great start up here. If you can get there, we can be home, by the voice or whatever at 7. So it's $60 for the event. I believe you said it's going to be like 4 different wines and pairings. That'll include the gratuity and the tax, and then some wine 101 with Ryan. So that's going to be a big help. So we have sign up in the back. Faye and I will be back there afterwards along with the team. So if you're really interested in that, come now so you can get on the list. It's going to be a lot of fun. Faye?
So for our 3rd winter event, we're going to be doing a luncheon this year, and it'll be at the Horseshoe Bay Country Club. We'll start at 11:30, and we'll have a little social hour. And then when we sit down to have a sit-down dinner or lunch, we will have a style show, a walkabout. So we'll kind of find out what's new and what we should be wearing and not be wearing. We'll also be collecting hats and mittens and probably a couple of other items. We're waiting to hear back from our contacts at the Boys and Girls Club and the YMCA. So just watch your emails and the Facebook page for a little bit more information. But if you're interested in this day on the December 2nd, put your name and your cell phone number back there. We'll be meeting with Amy shortly to get the exact cost on that, but everything else has been set up. We hope you consider joining us.
Okay, so next up, we have Donna Hansen from Unity Hospice. They were the main award recipient in April of 2022. She's come all the way from De Pere, Green Bay, yes, to give us a short update on how the funds were used. Welcome, Donna.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you so much. It's incredible, the patients and the families, and I got to visit with some of you ladies tonight, and just share some stories of how hospice has helped you and your families. And hospice is a scary word for a lot of people, but when you understand what it is, and we like to keep educating the community about just getting that support and that care for the patient and the family. So you were all very instrumental in this last year to help us reach out to those people. So we do, Medicare covers about 90% of the funding for hospice, but the other 10% we get from donors. And like yourself, donor dollars and fundraising events help our mission here to help the patient and the family. So here, how the funds were used to provide care for those facing end-of-life illness in Door County. We have staff, so we are in 13 counties. Our main office is in De Pere. We have an office for staff in Sturgeon Bay, Marinette, and Shawano. So our staff live within the communities that we serve. And so they're available 24/7, no matter what. You also helped provide grief support to those facing the loss of a loved one. And our grief service is also free to the community. You don't have to be on our services to take advantage of that. We live in a tough world, and we're here to help support you and each other in person, or on a phone call, in person, Zoom. We're available for that. We also, you also helped ensure that patients on Washington Island had access to the same level of care as people in Sturgeon Bay. Even in the winters, getting over to the island. Years ago, we had a nurse that lived on the island. So it was very easy. But again, a lot of our staff live in the Door County area, so that, they can just get on the boat and go over there, no problem. Nope, I was just going to talk. You can go to yeah, that's fine. Oh, okay. The down one. Okay. Okay, so as I said, like nurses, LPNs, CNAs, chaplains, social workers, they all live within the Door County area to provide care for the patients and the families 24/7, no matter the weather, or wherever the patient calls home, whether it be in their home, their residence, assisted living, nursing home, or hospital. We go to where they're living, where their home is. A lot of people I run into at different health fairs thinks it's like a place. No, it's your place. It's where you live, where you reside, where you're comfortable, that we come to you to help you. And I talked about grief support. Okay, so across the year, so Unity served 279 patients in Door County. 127 were male, 152 female. Again, the majority was age 60 or above. We did serve several in their 40s and 50s. We do have a new program where we help pediatric patients. And as far as I know, there isn't any up in this area, but that's a new program that we're helping to help the young ones, the babies, the little ones. And that I had the privilege of interviewing a family a couple months ago for a video testimonial. We interviewed the mom and her daughter. Her daughter we didn't interview, but she was part of our program, our pediatric program with hospice. And it just touches your heart. And just like some of the stories I heard tonight from some of these presenters looking for, donations, it just touches your heart. When you serve people that need, it just blesses you. Let's see. So overall house calls. So Unity's nurses in the last year, with your funds that you helped us with, supported Unity's nurses. They made 5,000 house calls, CNAs 3,000, social workers 2,000, chaplains 1,200, and grief support 150. That's just in this area, just in Sturgeon, or the Door County area. So that's a pretty huge impact to take care of these patients and their families. Let's see. And okay, and then the funding also that you helped was grief support and that. And a lot of this is, for people that have limited or absent financial resources and that. So just to be able to meet them where they're at and with their needs. Let's see. Okay, so you not only help people remain at their home during their illness, but you also helped 5 patients receive 24-hour care at the Jack and Ingrid Meng residence in De Pere. Beautiful facility. If you haven't ever been out there, if you get to the De Pere area, it's just very peaceful and beautiful. It's a 12-bed facility, 24-hour care. Again, got the privilege of interviewing another patient for video testimonial. And we do that and we advertise it on WBAY, little 15 or 30-second clips, just to let the community know, hospice doesn't have to be scary. And these are real people going through it and sharing their experience, just to help you understand it a little better. So anyway, I'm getting off track, sorry. So 5 patients received 24-hour care. Okay, we did that. And then we made sure that 12 families in Door County received compassionate grief support after the death of a loved one. You also helped make sure that 4 patients on Washington Island received care and support without having to leave the island. Very, very huge. It just is, it just takes away the stress of having to, get on the boat and for that patient to come in for care, depending where they are in their journey. And so here, I just really want to make, you've made such a difference in so many ways that words cannot describe. And just want to really thank you from the bottom of our hearts. Just the patients, I get to see firsthand a lot of times. And just thank you so much. We are so appreciative.
Thank you very much, Donna. A lot of stuff. I realized I forgot to introduce myself. Everyone else was doing that. So for those who don't know me, I'm Ann Glessner, and I'm the nonprofit coordinator and board member. So speaking of that, we have a couple slides that you're used to seeing, and then we have a couple new topics to go over. So wow, check that out. 28 nonprofits are in the hat. I was busy this quarter. So no, but this is great. Every quarter we try to encourage all of you to nominate a nonprofit, and we had 9 new nominations come in. So just fantastic. We love to see that. So because of the 9 new nonprofits in the hat, it did decrease the age in the hat, right? Because we threw 9 new ones in who haven't been in the hat at all. And so, as you know, one of the things we take a look at is what's the average age that the nonprofit has been sitting in the hat. So it's now down to 328, primarily because we had so many of the new nominations. So to that point, big news. So you've been seeing these slides, and we told you even a couple years ago that we would continue to look at the age of the hat and to take a look at it from a board perspective. So at the last board meeting, we took a look at it and we decided, even though we've been monitoring it, we definitely are listening to all your feedback and some concerns. So concerns that nonprofits are getting stuck in the hat. And of course, it's a random process, so that is going to happen. But I think more importantly, that now previously awarded nonprofits have been out of the hat. They've waited their turn and they're coming back into the hat. And so now we're starting to have second awards go out before the first nominations have been awarded. So some of this is inherent with a random hat process, but nevertheless, I think we have a good solution to help with the situation. So 2 changes effective with the January meeting. The first one is to increase the wait time out of the hat from 2 years to 3 years for the runners up. So as a reminder, today, the main award recipient will sit out of the hat for 3 years. After the 3 years, they're then eligible to be renominated again. And up until today, the runners up were their wait time in the hat was 2 years. So we're going to up that to be the same as the main award recipient. For one thing, the runners-up awards are quite sizable, and so we decided that it warranted that same amount of wait time and that all of the awards are of good size and that we should treat both the same. So effective with this meeting, we're going to implement that change. And then the next item is potentially quite exciting. So what we've decided to do is that in the January meeting, we are going to do an aged hat drawing. And so we're going to only have in the hat those nonprofits that have been in the hat for 3 years or more. And so if none of those nonprofits are selected this evening, I think that would be 6, and that there would be 6 in the hat in January. So half of them would be pulled in January. So I think that's pretty exciting. And so, this really does two things. It increases the opportunity, of course, for the award money itself. But as well, we keep talking about awareness, and then it gives the nonprofit the platform to come and to share their story with all of you. And we think both things are quite important. So in closing, we're going to continue to monitor the hat, and we're going to continue to monitor the process. We'll see how this goes, but we're pretty excited and glad to hear, some positive feedback and claps in the room. So again, be sure to, if you do have any concerns or questions, talk to us after the meeting or send us an email. We're happy to talk about it more, but in summary, this is what we're doing. Okay, so with that, it's time to draw from the hat, which is a shoebox, but that's okay. So a thank you to Beth and to Candy Otto, who vetted and made sure that all of these nonprofits have little slips and were in the paper. You can see in red all of the new nonprofits that are in the hat this month. So how about Allison pick? Okay. And it is other way. Thank you. Liberty Grove Historical Society. All right. Number 2. So the people on the phone can hear. Money Management Counselors. And one more. Shake them up. Number 3. Help of Door County. Congratulations, everyone. Oh, here, I don't need too much. Okay, so as a reminder, tonight's awards, approximately $14,500 for the main award, and each of the runners-up $7,250. And I always put a plug in, just remember, and I told the nonprofits this in the hallway before we started, we can't cut the checks to the nonprofits until all of you have paid. So it's your incentive to get those checks in, so that, or cash or whatever you're doing, so that we can get to the money to the nonprofits as quickly as possible. Okay, without further ado, the main award recipient this evening, congratulations to Lakeshore Cap Food Pantry.
Okay, we just have a couple slides to finish up, but while you're all sitting, I want to just ask the nonprofits and the people presenting after we're done to please, the board, to go back into the back of the room so we can get pictures. And if anybody has time and is able to help with chairs, we can stack 10 on those carts and we can have 15 on each side of the room. And turn in your name tag, sign the banner if you haven't and you'd like to, and there are business cards and stickers up here. So help yourself to those. And with that, our next meeting is January 22nd, and it'll be here at Kress. And here's a quote from Ruth Bader Ginsburg: "Real change, enduring change, happens one step at a time." And this is our elevator pitch. Do good, feel good, gather, have fun with 100+ WWC. All right. Thank you all for coming.